What would you do if you knew that you had more than enough money? What would you stop doing if you knew that money was not a problem? Would you travel more to see the world? Would you spend more time with those that you love? Would you start painting? Would you even have an alarm clock? What is that one thing that your heart desires so much to do that money has stopped you from doing? Can I tell you one undeniable truth? God will give you the desires of your heart. You want proof? I will show it to you in the Bible. And I will share with you 3 practical steps that I took to get guidance from God in my finances and find peace. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and enjoy safe pasture. Take delight in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust Him, and He will do this. He'll make your righteous reward shine like the dawn, your vindication like the noonday sun. This verse clearly says that God will give you the desires of your heart. But there's things that we need to do to make that happen. The first practical step that I took with my money to walk the path of a prosperous life is to say enough, it's enough, to listening to the lies and focus on my mindset. Every day we have negative thoughts that are playing through our head without us even realizing. They're set on cruise control, they're on autopilot, we operate out of those thoughts, but we don't realize they're sabotaging our finances and our life. They're like the stronghold, the chokehold that is keeping you from really enjoying and living a prosperous life. The thoughts that money is evil, or I'm not good with money, or finances are hard, or rich people are bad, or fear of becoming successful, fear of having a lot of money, not trusting yourself with having money, the thought of I only want just enough. And then day by day goes and you have just enough and you can't figure out why life is so hard. Or you're having a good income, but your money is leaking, and at the end of the month you're looking at your finances and you don't understand where that money is going and you have nothing to show for. All of those things are directly affecting what you're doing. The mindset, it's what drives most of the things that you do in life. 80% of the results that you're having today, the life that you're having today, is due to mindset, not to the practical tools. I have a friend of mine who is terrified of planes. I can give her free tickets to the best destination in the world, but because she thinks that planes would crash and that it's unsafe, she would never take advantage of those tickets. It starts with her mindset and being afraid of the planes that triggers her not to take advantage of the tool itself, the plane itself, to go and see beautiful places around the world and enjoy them. That's why focusing on your mindset, eradicating those money chokeholds, those money chains that are holding you back in your head, peeling back the onion, figure it out where those thoughts come from, and switching them from a lack mindset, lack words, into abundance words. The second step that I had to take was to actually steward God's money in a very God-like manner. God says that if we're faithful with little, He will bless us with more. So having a pulse on where your money is going, what's your current situation, what is it being spent on? Does that money align with your values? If you value family time or value traveling around the world, but your money is being spent on subscriptions, other things that are not of value to you, then are you living your life according to your values? I'm not saying that you should have a budget. As a matter of fact, I believe the budget is like a starvation diet. Once you're off of it, you go back into impulse spending. But if you align your spending with your values and create a plan for that, now you can rest peacefully that you're taking care of today and planning for tomorrow. Even if you have debt, you can still enjoy today. You don't have to feel like this debt is a rock that is holding you down. Every time you go and buy food, or every time you go eat out, or every time that you make any purchase, a cup of coffee, whatever it is, you probably feel guilty and ashamed because you know that there is this debt that is lingering over your head that you need to take care of. All you have to have, it's a plan without killing the joy joy of today, you can still enjoy it with having debt and working on getting out of it, and also enjoy tomorrow. You need to change your relationship with debt and understand that it's there, that it needs to be taken care of, but it doesn't define who you are. It's not that you're bad. You just made some financial decisions, and now it's time for you to set a plan in place and take care of it. And these things will make a massive impact in your life and in your finances. Step number 3 that I took with my finances is understand that God wants us to multiply what He gives us. I always go back to the parable of talents, where the master gives his 3 servants different amount of money. One servant goes and buries in the ground because he's afraid, similar to people putting things in the savings account and feeling secure in that savings account and losing money to inflation. So burying it in the ground. The second servant doubles what he has made, and then the third servant, who was giving the most amount of money, doubles it too. And when the master comes back, he asks each one of them, what did they do with the funds they were giving? The 2 say that they've multiplied it, and the third one says that he buried because he was afraid. And guess what the master did? He looked at the servant that buried and said, you lazy and slothful servant. He took it from that person and gave it to the other servant, who multiplied it. So God calls us to multiply our money so that we can advance His kingdom here on earth. Now, this is not saying that we need to work our way to heaven by advancing God's kingdom. No, because we know how great God is, and we want others to experience that with Him. And the more people we can help do that, the better. The way we multiply our money is by investing. The Bible also calls us to diversify, means investing in your education. God also calls us to gain wisdom and knowledge, investing in the stock market, investing in real estate. Those are the things that I have practically done to multiply the funds. One of the most important things that we need to do is to give, and give generously. And the first 10% of everything we make, everything we multiply, all the monetary favor that God is blessing us with, we give 10% to Him because it belongs to Him anyway. I am so excited to cover these 3 steps in details in my Millionaire Investor group coaching workshop. It's a live workshop that I will be holding this month, and you can go and grab your seat right now at the link below. I am so excited to see you there. I'm so excited to share every single thing that I have done and go into details with each one of these steps, so you can take this roadmap, plug it into your life, and see how your financial world would change, how you can go on a trip and enjoy it and not feel guilty, how you can give from the fullness of your heart and not think, maybe I can give later because I don't have enough, or maybe I have other priorities. How you can still enjoy today, not feel guilty when you buy things, or not just survive or just have enough, but actually prosper and really thrive. How to understand different types of investments so you make educated decisions rather than fearing or poking in the dark, wondering if you're making the right decision or not. So go and grab your seat for the live Millionaire Investor group coaching workshop. I am so excited to see you there, and we're going to have an amazing time.